Hello everyone and welcome to this week's episode of We Are Not Entertained. I am Tommy Haley. It's been a good week. It's been a slow week, still counting down the days before I start a new job, and I don't know when I'll be starting a new job. So yeah, there's that. I'm not going to go into that. It's some private details. Either way, what a busy week this has been. I'll just start off with the elephant in the room. Vince McMahon. Apparently, what was it, Thursday, if I'm not mistaken, there was something that came out that said there was about $3 million hush money payment from a disgruntled employee to, stop, harassment. I don't know. Let me pull it up first. Let me pull that up first. Yes. Oh, this is from the Wall Street Journal, actually. WWE's board is investigating a secret $3 million settlement that longtime CEO Vince McMahon reached with a former employee with whom he allegedly had an affair, according to the document and people familiar. Now, I get people were surprised that this has happened. Now, like I said, certain people were surprised when this came out. Although, certain people that watched wrestling during the 1990s don't find this surprising. I am one of those people that does not find this surprising. But the fact that this took forever to, keep hush hush is, the fact that this was kept quiet for so long. Now I get it. It's a $3 million hush hush. It's a $3 million hush settlement for a certain disgruntled or employee that they were going to be facing sexual harassment claims, and I get it. I'm not going to talk about it anymore on what happened. That's just all we know right now. And so the board was like, "You better step down," and he is complying with the investigation, all that kind of stuff. And what else? His daughter, Stephanie McMahon, is now working as the interim CEO, and from what Sean Ross Sapp has been reported, it is looking overwhelmingly positive, which is a good thing, if you're asking me. But, look, I'm not surprised at all. He made Trish Stratus, one of the most influential female wrestlers of all time, bark like a fucking dog on national television. Are we surprised? Are we surprised anymore with what Vince McMahon has done to people? He has made Trish Stratus bark like a fucking dog on national television. Storyline wise, he drugged his wife just so he could fuck Trish Stratus. Note, this isn't actually real. That wasn't a real thing. That was just storyline, Mr. McMahon, the CEO, kind of deal. That did not actually happen. That was just happening in storyline, in the world of wrestling and storyline wise. Let's see what else. What else? I mean, he says his balls are the size of grapefruits, which we lead to believe that. What else? There's so much shit in the 90s he did that just a lot of people don't talk about, and looking back at it now of how fucked up it is. I mean, the Trish Stratus thing, him basically, putting his wife in a catatonic state, that wasn't actually real. I had to take note, again, that is not real. He did not actually put his wife in a catatonic state just so he can have an affair with another woman. That was storyline wise. That was not real. It's fake. I can't believe I just said that word on a wrestling podcast. The list is like Morbo's family. It's belligerent and numerous, and that's pretty much all I'll talk about on it. Of course, he shows up on SmackDown. Of course, WWE announces that Vince McMahon will be on SmackDown this Friday to announce something. He pulled a Tony Khan in his book. He was going to be on SmackDown for something. And of course, when he is the first thing on, and of course, everyone is singing along to his theme song. No Chance in Hell. Now, granted, it's a great theme song. I mean, it's come on. That's one of the most synonymous theme songs of the 90s, other than Stone Cold's theme. Just no chance in hell. So, course, knowing Vince McMahon, he did not address the allegations. Of course, he promoted tonight's show just for a ratings bit. Are we surprised? Are we surprised? Are we honestly surprised about this? I find, when I saw that on Twitter, that was the least surprising thing I have ever seen in my life. It's like, we're sure you hope you watch the show tonight, or something like that. I don't know. I was working on Friday, so it was kind of funny to see what happened. Anyway, on said show, Roman Reigns actually defended both the undisputed Universal Championship against Riddle. And, of course, Matthew Riddle lost. Go figure. But guess who comes out? Brock Lesnar. Yes, they are wrestling again at SummerSlam, although this time is a last man standing match for the undisputed titles. Now, look, I'm going to be honest here. Them putting the undisputed titles on Roman Reigns at WrestleMania was a questionable decision. Another decision I think that is questionable and totally hasn't bit them in the ass. What am I kidding? So they have reduced, I also said in previous editions of Wayne, that they have reduced his schedule. They have reduced his load work. He's not going to be on as many SmackDowns, or he'll show up on Raw like at least once, and then all that kind of stuff. I just don't understand why you put both titles. I get he's your top guy. He is the guy on the top of the marquee, your t-shirt seller, your ticket seller, all that kind of stuff. But if you're going to reduce his schedule, don't put both main titles on him. Now, I get you can keep the Universal title on him, but the WWE Championship, you at least have to get that off of him. Because one, you can't have one guy hold both titles hostage. They're doing a Brock Lesnar situation. This is like Brock Lesnar back in 2000 and that period of 2016 to like late 2019, like that period of 2017, 18, 19, where Brock Lesnar had the Universal title. He wasn't appearing on as many Raw, wasn't appearing on a lot of Raws and stuff like that, and basically is holding the belts hostage. Now, I wouldn't say hostage. They're just like, he just doesn't want to wrestle. For Roman, he has had leukemia. He's had leukemia, the COVID stuff that happened. I get that he's all that stuff. But just get one of the fucking titles off of him so we can at least have one main event picture on one side of the brand, while on SmackDown you can just do whatever. Come on. Just do something better than this. I don't understand, and I still don't understand why the winner-take-all match had to be title for title. There's no appeal to it if you're just going to keep both titles on Roman for this long. Now, you also have to take into effect that, one, Cody Rhodes is injured, so that changes a lot of things. If we're looking realistically, if Cody didn't have the injured pec, the injured pectoral muscle, I think Roman is dropping those titles to Cody at SummerSlam. That's who I think Roman's next opponent would have been if Cody didn't get injured. Roman Reigns' next opponent would have been Cody Rhodes if he did not get injured. I am foolproof, 100% guaranteed sure that that's what was going to happen. But now, since he's had a torn pectoral muscle, he wrestled a Hell in a Cell match during said torn pectoral muscle. He's going to be on the shelf. And here's what I think they should do with that. He's going to be out for a couple months because Triple H has had this kind of injury before. He'll come back. I feel like he should come back next year at the Royal Rumble at number 30. win the Rumble, challenge Roman at WrestleMania, and beat Roman for the titles. Or they can move that schedule up more. Another problem is with Randy Orton suffering that back injury, which I didn't talk about. I'm going to talk about that real quick. Randy Orton has had a back injury from when they wrestled, or him and Riddle wrestled the Usos to unify the tag team titles on the episode of SmackDown, and he injured his back. Of course, report from Sean Ross Sapp, reports are saying that WWE is fearful that he will be out for the rest of 2022. So that changes things as well. So you're kind of depleting the roster thin. So you don't really have a lot of people. I mean, you have Bobby Lashley. You still have Matt Riddle, but he's done. He's not going to do anything. You could retry the storyline with Shinsuke. You could try and do that, unless he already lost. Probably, more than likely, yeah, that's what happened. What else? You can have Seth try and at least pry one of the titles off. I get Brock Lesnar again. Come on, just do something better than Brock Lesnar. I can't believe I'm saying that. What else? Who else on the main roster? Drew McIntyre. Why did my echo go off? Either way. I don't know. I mean, there's Drew McIntyre, which I believe he'll be challenging Roman at, Clash at the Castle, or the new Clash of the Castle, I think it's what it's called. So when they're in Newcastle and all that stuff. There's really no one else. There's no one else. They have the roster is. I mean, Edge. You can try Edge again. You can do Edge for the third or fourth time. AJ, that would be an interesting one to see. Yeah, there's no one. The roster has been so depleted, so thin. It's just that the list is not. There's not a just bevy of people that you can do. I mean, you can do Finn Balor as well, all that kind of stuff. But more than likely, they're all gonna lose. That's just I mean, it's just John Cena. This is the different version of John Cena, where it was that one time during the early 2010s where it's John Cena wins, fucking lol. That's how it is with Roman now. Roman Reigns wins, lol. It is just mind-numbingly frustrating that they're doing this. That they're just keeping the belts on Roman and are just, not doing anything with it at all. At all. Now, I get you can try and bring up Braun Breaker, but I don't think he's main roster ready yet. He's got that. I mean, try Apollo Crews. That'd be an interesting thing to see, but I guess he's not, Nigerian anymore. He's not Nigerian anymore. He pulled the Kofi Kingston thing where DX was all together, and he's aren't you supposed to be Jamaican? And then he's whoa, hey, whoa, no, what are you talking about? Very funny, guys. I don't know. Either way, it's dumb. I don't care. I'm gonna watch SummerSlam anyway. But I mean, just come on, just get the belt. Just get one of the belts off of him. It doesn't have to be both. It could just be the one of the belts, not the blue one. Just the regular WWE Championship. You can take that belt off of him, and everything will be fine. You can leave the Universal title on Roman, but just take the WWE Championship off of him, and will be completely fine with that. Completely fine with that. Let's see. So, after a long perceived break, we are going to the Ring of Honor finally. Let me pull up the notes that Brock sent me finally. Alright, on this edition of We Are Not Entertained, or not We Are Not Entertained, a Ring of Honor. This time, on Ring of Honor, we start with a recap of Bound by Honor. We go to the commissioner's office. We see a puff of smoke as we see a hand clench into a fist and punch the monitor in front of the chair. We hear, "Fine, Mr. Draper. If you want to continue to spit in my face, in the face of the Ring of Honor fans, then I will have to change my approach to you, to a language you may understand. I'll remind you whose world you are in. I'll whip you into shape because I can get my hands." Okay. A pause, and we hear a smile over his voice as he says, "Dirty." Show intro shows the crowd and cut to Kevin Kelly and Matt Striker. They welcome us to Ring of Honor Arena in Philly, and they throw us to Brian Zane with an interview with Dak Draper after Bound by Honor. Zane is joined by Draper and all of his mass attackers who are excitedly talking. Zane asks, "Now, Dak, we've seen you go far in your actions in the past, and just when it looked like your advantage was finished, you had help once again." Draper stops and says, "You see, Zane, just like a great chess master, I always think 5 steps ahead of any would-be challenger. Jay Lethal was no different from the rest of them, and with these great men with me, I can face anyone and defeat anyone as long as I have my special gal on my arm. I can conquer everything. It's that simple, Zane, because when you've been disrespected as I've been in my career, you'll learn that you are not the only one who feels the same way you do." Zane asks, "Will you reveal who these people are?" Draper calmly says, "In due time, my dear Brian. As for tonight, we are going to burn Buffalo to the ground as the Chiefs do to them every year in the playoffs." Ouch. That one. Okay. Alrighty. As for next week, I think a live concert is to celebrate. They all leave. Great. I probably have no idea. I will probably have no clue who these people are. No idea. I don't know who these people are, like at all. Either way, we start with the match 1 with Chase Harlow and Flip Gordon. Flip gets the win. Gordon shows off his athleticism by dodging attacks from Harlow. Flip wins when he hits the airdrop. It's a shooting star press in a 5-minute match. Back to Zane and Buffalo with Serena Deeb, who looks frantic and like she's in a hurry. Zane asks her, "Miss Deeb, this was a masterclass in pro wrestling, but I have to ask, why would you resort to such an underhand tactics?" Deeb looks at him and says, "Look, I don't know what you thought you saw out there, so I'll tell you what happened. I just proved that I am the absolute class of the women's division here in Ring of Honor, and that I am not going anywhere anytime soon. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to get to a very important meeting with some representatives from AEW." We cut back to Philadelphia, where we have the next match, Jungle Jack Perry against Black Jack Jason Black. Jungle Jack Perry gets the win, and Perry gets beaten down by Black for a while as the big man uses his size and strength to keep Perry reeling. God, that sounds so wrong on so many levels. Perry starts to his speed to create space and tire the big man. Perry hits the missile drop kick straight into the snare trap for the win in a 9-minute match. We go back to Buffalo, where Brian Zane is joined by the Kingdom backstage, who are still riding the high off the win. Before Zane can ask a question, Matt Taven grabs the mic and shoves Zane aside. We told you, all of you, but you just didn't want to listen. You were too busy stroking the egos of teams like FTR and the Briscoes to see what was staring at you in the face. The most underappreciated team in the wrestling business today. You just couldn't see the greatness that was spitting in your face. And now you have no choice but to recognize us and accept that all your heroes will fall before us. Because this isn't a superhero movie where the good guys win. There's no happily ever after for FTR, the Briscoes, for the Workhorsemen, Gun Club, Varsity Blondes, Acclaimed, Foundation, or anyone else who wants to challenge us. This is the real world, where more often than not, the so-called villains win and get the girl at the end of the movie. And at the end of the movie, there's only one ending, and that is everyone bending the knee, and you will bow to the Kingdom. Taven throws the mic at the camera, and that ends that segment in Buffalo. We go back to Philadelphia for match 3, which is the Varsity Blondes versus Matt Race and Justin Riot. The Blondes quickly overwhelm their opponents with high-flying offense. Pillman Jr. hits a drop kick as Garrison hits a German suplex. Race is dazed as the Blondes hit the Suicide Blonde, Air Pillman Doomsday Device, which is, I feel like that would be fantastic to actually see. I think they actually do that. I think that's their actual finisher, if I'm not mistaken. You could put a note right here, editor, to say if I'm wrong, which I probably am. for the win in an 8-minute match. Gresham, Tankman, and Lethal join Zayn back. So we're back in Buffalo. So Gresham, Tankman, and Lethal join Zayn backstage. As Zayn, who looks like he wants to fight, Draper says, what those heathens did to you all were just downright shameful, dishonorable, and horrific. Lethal stops him and says, Zayn, I should be more upset, but this just means Draper has just played his cards for all of us to see. You see, Brian and Draper just bet the house, and while Brian... you see, Brian, there's no comma. There's no comma there, by the way. You need a comma right there, sir. Draper just bet the house, and while he may have won this time, we haven't even begun to make our play yet, nor have we given any sign of what our hand is just yet, Gresham says. Jay is right. We have just begun to fight back, and with Jay, and now Calvin Tankman with me, Draper knows that his bid at my ROH championship is in major danger. That's why he's done everything he has so you will get what is coming to you. It's as simple as that, Lethal says. I think they said they were having a celebration next week. Maybe we should crash the party, if he wouldn't mind. Both Gresham and Lethal smile and leave. Zayn looks at Tankman and points the mic at him. Calvin just snorts and walks away. The next match, we cut back to Philadelphia for a women's match with Anna Jay going up against Haley Rose. Anna Jay and Haley Rose go hold for hold in a technical matchup until Anna gets the advantage and doesn't let up. Anna locks in the Queen Slayer. It's a Dragon Sleeper single leg Boston Crab combo for the win in the 6-minute match. FTR is in the doctor's... Nope, we cannot say doctor's office. We have to say local medical facility. Remember that next time, Police Brock. We have to say local medical facility. We cannot say doctor's office. Either way, FTR sitting in a local medical facility, sitting with ice and wraps on them while a doctor tends to cash his head. Dax says, Briscoes, what exactly did you want, huh? Our championships? Our attention? Or our respect? Because right now, you got one of those things, boys. You got it when you blindsided us. Hell, you got it when you came out with no frills and challenged us straight up as men. Something that doesn't happen a lot in today's industry. You had our respect then, but you lost that. And our championships aren't ours anymore, thanks to a no-good Jezebel sticking her nose into our business and costing us our titles. So, you have our attention, which is a hard thing to get. So, you name the place, name the time, and we can get this settled real quick. The main event is a 3-way dance for the number 1 contendership for the ROH TV Championship. Dalton Castle, Joe Hendry, and Dragon Lee. This match breaks down when the lights turn red as all 3 men go back to back to back as 3 masked attackers come out and brawl with them. They rip the mask off to show it's some random dudes. The real masked attackers jump them from behind and lays waste to them as Draper and the masked female look on from the ramp. They place Lee and Castle on Castle as Castle is eliminated and then place Hendry on Lee as Hendry wins the match. Draper comes down to the ring and gives each man a Draper bomb. Draper gets up and tells the official to ring the bell. The ref does as Hendry faces Draper now. Draper calmly puts his foot on Hendry's chest for the win. Draper retains his title. The masked people get into the ring. Draper kisses his girl and looks at the camera with a shit-eating grin as trash flies in the ring as we fade to black. End credits. Interesting. Now, next time on Ring of Honor, will we find out who these masked people are? Will we also find out on who the commissioner also is as well? But, undoubtedly, we will have wrestling next time on Ring of Honor. But, all jokes aside from that, this is going to do it for this edition of We Are Not Entertained. You can follow me on Twitter at dude_x14. Excuse me. You can follow the YouTube channel at bcardyt. The B, the C, the Y, and the T are all capitalized. Another thing is that Tuesday, me and Brock are going up to Omaha. So, how we're going to do Wayne this week, how we're going to do Big Time Talkers this week, I do not know. We'll figure that out Tuesday and later today on Monday. So, either way, this has done it for this edition of The Unentertained. I've been Tommy Haley. Catch y'all on the flip side. Make sure you drink lots of water, too. It's hot as hell out there, so stay hydrated. Damn thing.